So today is Sunday, April 19th, 221. On April 17th, 2026, I Complex posted this article by Will Lavin, and it said Ice Spice gets slapped while having a meal at McDonald's. Video show tense moments. And that reminded me of Lil TJ and how little TJ has been having beef with people, like other people in his like peer group, and how I think they're mad young to be getting into like some altercations and shit. How um especially little TJ's circumstance, people like touch base on it, but like bro's mad young to be like still be getting shot at and shit, and you're mad rich, like everybody else moved on from that shit. So like, it's kind of nuts that you're the one out here shooting somebody for allegedly DK. Let me clean that up, but that something happened over like 10 bands over like gambling money, and then Offset just sitting there old as fuck, being rich as fuck, but can't pay somebody back some money that he owes him. But in this Ice Spice circumstance, it's slightly different. It's very different because Shorty didn't even know her. But in the video, you see Ice Spice. She's like sitting there with some or like a friend of hers, and they're just like sitting there, literally doing like nothing, and they're not doing nothing, and a fan just comes out of nowhere and like is on some type of time, and I don't know about you, but if somebody walked up to me like out of nowhere, and where's the security at? First of all, why are you walking around like you don't got M's and like jewelry and shit that people don't want to like approach you on some? Let me take a picture, and are gonna be stingy about your time more than you're stingy about your time. Talking about they like I'm not famous, but I know motherfuckers feel entitled to be like, you need to take a picture with me. So I don't know why once you reach the stardom, it's not like you need that separation. Or at least you need a security guard that's gonna not let people run up on you like that. Cause that shorty was running like she was getting mobbed. And then they said that she ran like the fair ones outside, but I didn't see that video. Um, but that's nuts. They're mad young to be getting in beef like that. But if I was a person who was supposed to make them push music, I would tell both of them to get in the studio together and talk about how motherfuckers is hating on how rich they are or some shit. I think that would go for like 2 weeks off of that subject. So along with that, because the news is kind of important, and especially right now with our climate and what's going on, it's I think it's important to be read up on the news and just mainstream like legacy media and what they're reporting, aside from looking at other sources of media, and for the purpose of just overall just intake, informational intake that's not solely entertainment. And I was reading that, so earlier in the year, I think it was this year, Donald Trump, he was trying to destroy a portion of the White House and build a ballroom. And with this whole stepping over lines, they're finally checking him. A bunch of courts are checking him, and they're finding out that he's building something underneath the White House, and it's kind of nuts. So it said in the fall, his administration began demolishing the east wing of the White House to make way for a $400 million ballroom. The move prompted the National Trust for Historic Preservation to file a lawsuit against Trump and its members of administration, and they said that the construction was unlawful, which I guess makes sense because this is like a national statement or landmark, and there's like committees and shit. Well, if a person has to go through five people to do a modification or a renovation for their house, the president should also have to adhere to somebody else. Cause what the fuck is that about? Um, and months of litigation ensued. Then on March 31st, as a judge sided with the preservation group, ordering that the ballroom construction project must stop until Congress authorizes its completion. So it's like we're not gonna say you can't build it, but everything you did build and everything you're gonna build has to go through somebody. Which again, rich people don't like hearing because what do you mean I need to tell my next move to somebody? I can't just do it. And he's the president, like he's been rich forever, and now I'm the president. I'm over here starting wars, and you're telling me I can't build something on the front lawn? That's kind of crazy. Um, he's arguing that the project is important and it's a national security upgrade, pointing to a massive military complex it wants to build underneath the ballroom. And I don't know if y'all are conspiracy nuts, but if you're watching this, I hope that that happened. And he's building a bomb shelter. I kind of in games and shit. I think it was Black Ops. They had a something underneath the White House and the Oval Office when you played zombies. So I knew there was something in there, but for them to come out and say that I don't know, the federal government built the PEOC, a bomb shelter underneath the now torn down East Wing of the White House during World War II. So this shit is old and this shit's been there and they knew about it. Everybody knows about it, but it's not spoken about. It's like one of those secrets that everybody knows about that nobody wants to admit happened. Um, the facility was intended to provide security for top White House officials if they were attacked. So obviously, it's like a safe bunker, and this, if you've been paying attention to like other types of news, you see that other rich people have also been building bunkers and also have been prepping for something. So for the White House to be prepping something underneath everybody's nose and only Congress find out or try to put a stop to it now is kind of absurd and kind of nuts that you could be using this much money from pooled amount of money. I don't think it was all tax money, but I remember um a bunch of private companies dipped into build this, and it makes you wonder why a bunch of them would give him money to do that shit, or if they also know the underlying reason for somebody need to build the bunker at this time and how pressed he is about the Iranians and how they're trying to build nuclear shit. It's kind of like it's pointing to something that is more than just an elephant in the room at the moment. And for science, I got another thing. Also reading the news because that shit kind of made me sad. Being like, what do you mean we're gonna? He's building something that's gonna like blow us all up, and we can't even talk about it. So I was like, I need something else. Starting on so in April, there's gonna be these meteor showers called the Lyrids. It started on Tuesday, and when I read this, it was Friday. What day was it? It was the 17th. Okay, so on Friday 17th, I read that on Tuesday the Lyrid started, and it was a meteor shower. And it'll continue until April 30th, according to the American Meteor Society. But its peak, the best times to spot the most meteors will begin around 10 p.m. on April 21st and will continue into April 22nd, according to NASA. You're not going to need a telescope or binoculars to watch a meteor shower, just your eyes. As with many other celestial phenomena, it's best observed when looking up at the sky in a dark night. So find the spot far away from light pollution. So if you live in Lawrence and you've seen this NASA shit that's going on, how people are out there in the moon and you're still intrigued on looking up at the stars and you want to see something else that's pretty cool, come the 21st and 22nd of April, if you find like the reservoir, if you go out there to like a park or some shit, just look up and it'll be the same shit, just not up there. Um but it's a bunch of meteors that are kind of within our atmosphere that are coming down and are burning up before they hit us. So it's pretty cool to see something new. And it says make sure to give your eyes enough time to adapt to the darkness to as well. NASA recommends about 30 minutes so you can bring a sleeping bag, a blanket, or a lawn chair to make yourself comfortable. Make yourself comfortable, but don't make a mess because it's cool to be outside and enjoy nature, but it's also cool to let somebody else enjoy nature after you're gone from it. Um, and lastly, in that same article, it said, "Be patient. The show will last until dawn, so you have plenty of time to catch a glimpse." So if you're watching this and you see that shit, just I don't know. I guess let them know that you seen that shit from here. Um, that's it for this one, and peace.